For Larry Larson, the love of all things horse began early in life. Larry's intense desire to be around horses led his dad, who owned a general store in the small town of Wauchpalla on the Standing Rock Indian Reservation, to barter cases of canned food and cartons of cigarettes with a nearby rancher, Fritz Wenches, for a gelding named Honda. That was the mid-1960s. Larry Larson's love for horses and the horse business has never faded, which is why he is the 2019 Black Hills Stock Show Horse Person of the Year. His family later became involved in farming and ranching near Mobridge, where Larry and his three brothers continued their education. An enrolled member of the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe, Larry was the only one in the family with a horse addiction and will be forever grateful for his dad's unique payment plan and the early years of being tested by his horses in those gumbo pastures along the Missouri River breaks. Growing up, Larry rode horses every chance he had. For a time, he worked for $1 a day at the fledgling race stable owned by Bill Mott, the local veterinarian's son. Bill was a year ahead of Larry in school, attended the same church, and trained racehorses throughout high school, with Larry helping as needed. Bill eventually became the trainer of the champion racehorse Cigar, and is still today a leading trainer at Churchill Downs. Larry was also heavily influenced by Tom Eliason of Gettysburg, South Dakota. Tom was a quarter horse breeder and horse trainer, as well as an AQHA judge who competed successfully in almost every AQHA show event and eventually showed an AQHA world champion in roping. From the mid-1970s into the early 1990s, Larry showed professionally for others, as well as hauling a few of his own home-raised horses. A broodmare he purchased in 1982 at the National Western Stock Show in Denver provided him with several competitive offspring. Her second foal, a filly named Persuasive, sired by a full brother to Zanpar Bar, earned many Futurity and AQHA class wins as a foal. He sold her as a weanling, and she went on to become an AQHA champion, superior halter horse, and a Canadian national champion. One of Larry's favorite memories from showing was at the Summer Quarter Horse Show in Sioux Falls in 1984. In the Grand Champion class, his broodmare, her yearling filly, and her current year foal were all in contention. It was a proud moment for Larry and an unusual occurrence even today. After 11 years of managing a veterinary practice in Mobridge, Larry made the move to Rapid City in 1984 into the unfurnished apartment above the newly opened Hart Ranch Arena. He continued to show horses professionally and also gave riding lessons. One riding lesson and a visit with a student's father was a life-changer for Larry. The father was there to watch his daughter ride and struck up a conversation with Larry. Larry received a call from the gentleman's wife a week later wanting to know if Larry would work for him. When asked what her husband did for a living, she said he was an eye surgeon at the Black Hills Regional Eye Institute. Having no previous eye experience, the ophthalmologist thought they would work well together, so he was willing to train Larry. Larson went from unknowingly being interviewed in the middle of the Hart Ranch Arena to now celebrating his 35th year at Black Hills Regional Eye Institute in 2019. Feeling a slight burnout from showing in 1991, but still having the desire to remain in the horse industry, Larry shifted directions. Photographers were seldom at show events, but at the 1991 Central States Fair, Larry was able to purchase a photo of a daughter of his mare named Inspired by Money by Inspirative. Larson realized the diagonal was off. It was very blurry and blared of other unappealing traits. Larry thought to himself, what if I could offer a product that everyone would appreciate? He saw a need for quality equine photography in South Dakota and the surrounding area. Despite having no past photography experience or even experience with cameras, Larry enrolled in the last photography clinic being offered in 1992 by Don Shugart of Grapevine, Texas, after admiring Shugart's equine photography for years and wanting to learn from the best. Larry Larson Photography, Inc. is now in its 27th year. Larson specializes in equine photography, graphic ad, and website design, along with equine photography clinics that have now drawn hundreds of students from across the United States and Canada, with additional clinics in Laramie, Wyoming, and Anchorage, Alaska. One of his most rewarding projects was being the official photographer for the South Dakota State 4-H Horse Show in Huron for 20 years. Larson says his clients are very knowledgeable horsemen who find the best crosses for broodmares in their herds. Larry photographs new mares, stallions, and horses being added to their herds or being prepared for sales, and then produces national ads and websites along with horse sale catalogs. Promoting a stallion for breeding and progeny for sales is the main goal for most of Larry's clients. Diagnosed with lymphoma in April of 2007, chemotherapy and radiation followed right in the middle of Larry's busiest time of the year. He sponsored his photography clinic, photographed and produced 2 sale catalogs, and managed and photographed 3 quarter horse show circuits by the time his treatment ended. God had bigger plans, and treatment was successful. Larry was invited to ride multiple world champion Harley D. Zip in the 2009 Cancer Ride during one night of finals at the AQHA World Championship Show in Oklahoma City. The biggest change Larson has witnessed in his nearly 3 decades of equine photography is the introduction of digital photography. He switched from film to digital in the spring of 2004. Larry has been active in the South Dakota Quarter Horse Association and Center of the Nation Quarter Horse Association since the early 1970s, serving in nearly every office and position, including president. His involvement with the Rapid City Quarter Horse Association spanned more than 30 years. Larry was instrumental in naming, managing, and photographing the now very successful Black Hills Stock Show Winter Classic Quarter Horse Show circuit. This event has become a huge part of the overall success of the Black Hills Stock Show, with trainers from across the nation marking it a major event they will not miss due to large class numbers earning points leading to qualification to the AQHA World Show. The Black Hills Stock Show horse sale has also become one of the top sales in the nation for both high sellers and overall averages. Larson has done the sale coverage as a freelance writer for many years, as well as having a promotional booth on the sale weekend. Larry managed and photographed the Black Hills Summer Circuit and the Central States Fair Quarter Horse Show for close to 2 decades, and the AQHA Region 2 Championship for several years since its inception in 2006. He was on the original planning committee in Amarillo, Texas, to set up the guidelines for these AQHA regional shows, now championships, held across the nation. His dedication to promoting the American quarter horse and the equine industry helped him be elected as an AQHA National Director in 2000, and then his elevation to AQHA Director at Large in 2015. Larry Larson is an ambassador for the AQHA Foundation, the fundraising entity of the AQHA for scholarships and breed education, and he's a member of their Heritage Society. He served on the AQHA Marketing Committee for 14 years, is currently a member of the International Committee, and was recently appointed to the AQHA Hall of Fame Selection Committee, which begins now in 2019. He was honored as the 2016 South Dakota Horse Council Horseperson of the Year, joining a long list of previous winners he'd always admired. Perfectionism isn't always a bad thing, and Larry has always tried to treat his clients like he wished to be treated. He admires their horses as if they were his own, and his main goal will always be to promote their operations in the most professional manner that he can. He takes it as a challenge to capture the best photo of each horse standing in front of him, accentuating the best features and masking the less favorable ones. Larry says the best compliment he receives is when his clients say they didn't know their horses were that beautiful. Larry has always had a huge desire to promote the horse industry, not only in South Dakota, but across the nation. He has never turned down a challenge to promote any aspect of the horse industry. For his continuing efforts to rise to the challenge and his dedication to the equine industry, we recognize Larry Larson as the 2019 Black Hills Stock Show Horse Person of the Year.